Hey guys, welcome to All Time Gaming. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jamie. And Chris, did you pay the ransom so we can get Jonesy back?
Well, after some skillful negotiation, Jamie, I can confirm that not only will Jonesy be coming back, but we didn't even pay the full amount.
How much did you pay?
About $350.
Well, this whole Jonesy thing has been a downright emotional roller coaster. The stuff that blockbusters are made of.
Well, Jamie, funny you said that because with the Assassin's Creed film coming out, we've been considering which games should be made into films all week long.
Chris, another fantastic segue. Even with Jonesy coming back, you're still smashing them.
Thanks.
Now, games have undoubtedly become more cinematic in scope as graphics improve and storytelling becomes even more integral to gameplay. In a lesson of show it, don't say it, From Software's Bloodborne would make an excellent film.
Tell me how so.
Imagine, Chris, you've just sat down in the cinema.
Yes.
And now you're munching your popcorn. You're wondering, what is this film going to do to you? First, we're going to drop the audience into the gothic city of Yharnam. The film would follow a hunter as he attempts to unravel the plague afflicting the city and escape with his health and his sanity intact. With its dark setting and brooding narrative, this could be a great film for Tim Burton.
No, you fucked it.
I'm fucking with you.
Oh.
No, but I would like to see what Guillermo del Toro could do with it.
Okay, that's a better fit. Come on.
That's if he's not too busy fucking around with Kojima.
Yeah.
And the good kind of fucking around. Creative fucking around.
Yeah.
The guy has a proven track record with dark fantasy and horror, and I think he'd smash that feeling of the dark, brooding, nightmarishly gothic atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, look at Pan's Labyrinth, right?
Exactly. The guy loves practical effects. He likes makeup and costumes. Now, there will be detractors, though, who say that the appeal of Bloodborne was the interactive nature. You know, you don't play for the plot, you play for the challenge and for the bragging rights. But all I said to those people is give it a chance. Think about the setting, think about the tone. I think, just maybe, it would work.
I think it would make a great film. BioShock actually had a film version confirmed at one point in time. Jamie, that's the first BioShock, not BioShock 2 or Infinite, you know.
Although, we could make a franchise out of this, baby.
In 2008, Gore Verbinski of Pirates of the Caribbean fame signed on to direct the underwater epic with a mind to keep faithful to the subject material. So far, so good.
Glad to hear that last bit, especially.
Yeah, exactly. That is to say that he wanted a high budget and an R rating.
Basically, a film that will never be made.
Funny you say that because he asked for that and the studio disagreed, pushing instead for a modest budget and a PG-13 rating. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. So, naturally, Verbinski told them to go fuck themselves and left as director in 2009. And as of today, very little has been heard on the project.
Ridiculous. I'd put up the cash.
Alright, Jamie, so what sort of film would we be theoretically looking at? Well, definitely the rating should be R, that's a given, as a PG-13 rating wouldn't allow for violent disemboweling by big daddies, or of course all the fun that can be had with plasmids.
Exactly.
It's effectively glorified drug use.
I want to see up close those splicers electrocuting.
But Jamie, a BioShock film, it's all going to be about the setting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That underwater mystery. What has happened to this place? The ruin of it.
I mean, Rapture looked fucking jaw-dropping the first time you went down that elevator in the game, and this wouldn't have to take anything away from that, but it would just be cool to get that same feeling from a movie.
So that's right, Jamie. Would you kindly make a BioShock film, Hollywood? Thank you.
Oh, you'd have to do it now. You know the rules. Okay, so BioShock would most likely be an actiony, horror-y adventure into objectivism. However, Chris, The Last of Us is a film I would like to see, and that would hopefully take a more meditative path to reflect the situation that main characters Joel and Ellie find themselves in. Hint, it's not a good one. For those of you who don't know and exactly how you've managed that, I don't fully understand, but here we are. The human race has been affected by a fungus that has all but eradicated the world's population. Survivor Joel is tasked with escorting a girl who appears immune to the effects of the fungus, making her highly valuable. Joel must choose between the bond he has formed with Ellie or the future of the Earth. That right there is a Sophie's choice for the zombie generation.
I like it.
So clearly the chemistry and friendship between the two leads must be genuine, otherwise it'll all fall apart. I mean, for large chunks of this film, these are the only two humans we'd be seeing.
On the screen, yeah.
Exactly. Ellie isn't just some side character either. She's arguably the most important character in the game, so she must be played by someone who's sympathetic but strong. Crucially, the film would be poorer for focusing on the mushroom zombies in combat above the human drama behind it. This is people first. Crazy, isn't it, Chris? A much better angle would be to go down the route of the 2009 film The Road. In that film, the relationship between Aragorn and his young son is the focal point, while the apocalypse kind of just happens around them. Seeing as we're going to be looking at their ugly mugs the whole time, Chris, it's probably worth talking about who should play the central pair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, here's an idea. He's currently playing prime dickhead Negan on The Walking Dead, but Jeffrey Dean Morgan has that level of world weariness with occasional moments of humanity, which I think typifies Joel. Meanwhile, despite the fact that Ellie looks like Ellen Page, she's a bit too old to pass for 14, I'm just gonna say it. When rumours of a film were flying around last year, Maisie Williams was a strong candidate, but we're a little bit unsure.
Yeah.
At least I'm unsure. Something about that face. But maybe an unknown actress. They're finding them all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for Star Wars.
Exactly, but what do you guys think? Who would do the role justice? Let us know in the comments below.
Okay, so from the serious to the not so serious. Far Cry Blood Dragon is basically a balls-out, neon-colored run-and-gun fun fest. Pretty much a piss take of the steroid-pumping macho films of the 80s from start to finish. Blood Dragon would make an amazing film.
I like where you're going with this.
Yeah, alright, so for starters, if you want cliches, you got cliches. This film would have them packed right up the arsehole. Cyborg badass, VHS effects, and Michael fucking Biehn. They're all here and provide a perfect antidote to the superheroes plague we are currently suffering under. So, what makes protagonist Rex Power Colt live up to his nickname? Well, aside from that robotic arm, he's pretty much just a jacked up dude who sprouts one-liners and takes bullets like a champ. Everything about him and the environment he inhabits screams the sort of mockery that made Team America World Police such a fine hit. Okay, so who would play Rex Power Colt though?
Liam Hemsworth. He's young and up and coming and has dashing good looks.
No, the obvious choice is Michael fucking Biehn. However, at the tender age of 60, he might not fit the role. I'll admit that.
No, just get pumping full of steroids.
No. You know what we do? CGI version.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's some Tron Legacy shit.
And you know what? While we're at it, let's cast Margot Robbie as the love interest, Dr. Darling. You know, because Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
I mean,
I understand.
I don't really need to, yeah. So after all that, all you have to do is drench the screen in neon, and you've got an iconic hit on your hands.
Well, Chris, if Far Cry Blood Dragon is a neon love letter to action heroes of the 80s, Hotline Miami is a coke-fueled fuckchild of Pulp Fiction and Drive.
Nice, I like it.
If any game is begging for the movie treatment, it's Hotline Miami. And you know what? I think done correctly, Chris, we can have fight scenes that could rival Old Boy or The Raid. I'm talking about legit.
I'm all over it, Jamie. Let's do it.
In fact, I think The Raid's director, Gareth Evans, would actually make a half-decent fit for this film, as the fast and furious violence contrasting with the slow, intense drama in between would suit Evans' style perfectly.
I know some people would say Nicholas Winding Refn, but
absolutely,
this is a less obvious choice. I like it.
I'm just trying to think about it from the perspective of the thing that stood out for Hotline Miami was the fast, brutal, relentless combat.
Yeah.
And we know that dude can do it. But I know there will be some who question Hotline Miami's suitability for the silver screen. I mean, the action is meant to be frenetic and constant. The major selling point is the fact that you die over and over and over again, each time getting up immediately to take the fight back to the enemy. How would you translate that to the big screen? Imagine the choreographed violence of John Wick, where Keanu Reeves plows through villains as if he's practiced clearing a room several times over.
Anything to do with John Wick, now we're talking.
Exactly. Now imagine that with a colour scheme and cinematography that looks like the cameraman has been on a binge of coke and has been watching reruns of Miami Vice all morning. And of course, the soundtrack needs to be on point, otherwise it just wouldn't be a Hotline Miami film. I'm actually kind of already getting a bit of a pump on just thinking about it.
Getting a bit of a pump on?
Yeah, I can already feel strobe lights and fucking electronic music and baseball bats, animal masks.
So from a film you never knew you wanted to a film everyone and their fucking dog wants.
Why did you assume people's dogs are fucking?
The Uncharted series follows the adventure of everyone's favorite, wisecracking, poor man's Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake. I mean, let's face it, they're basically the same character, right? Right down to the graying old father figure. First, though, we have to determine which of the games needs the silver screen treatment. Jamie, thoughts?
2.
No. I mean, the first game neatly establishes Nathan Drake as a cocksure young man, yet it's his later installments in the franchise that really cement his character and motivations. So it would make sense to focus on the first game in the series and then, fold in elements of the second, maybe the third game, to fully flesh out Drake and separate him from your generic witty white guy lead that gives Nathan Fillion and Chris Pine a career to this day.
Bit more personality, I like it.
Alright, but let's move on. Who would play Drake himself? I mean, Bradley Cooper's name has been floating around forums, but personally, I'd go for Chris Pratt. Again, maybe oversaturated at this point, but seeing as Pratt has been linked to playing a younger Indiana Jones before, this would actually be a pretty smart move. Sully, however, is slightly more difficult to cast. Keeping the action tight and the relationship between Sully and Drake is key, but you need to be just as sharp as Drake, older by about 20 years, but still able to do all of the stunts. I'm thinking, step forward, Bruce Campbell and his chin.
In that order?
Yeah.
That's how he enters the room. Yeah, sure, grey him up a little bit, get him to grow a nice, healthy stash. Would be on the right track.
You know what? I think he could easily, Jamie, steal the show.
He's already a fan favourite. So that was our list of 6 games that would make fantastic films. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments below.
And don't forget to like and subscribe and, click on the little bell thing to get those notification things. All that good stuff.
And from games that would make good films to films that made bad games. Check out our list of 6 terrible games from films. And we'll see you next time, hopefully with Jonesy.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
It would be good to have him back. # mission accomplished. Jonesy's back.